All right, so basically what I'm going to do here today, I'm going to go through a presentation about how to use Facebook to drive revenues, referrals, and brand positioning. But before I get into any content, I just want to share a story about Matt. So on the ride over, so it's different than the dying with the cheeseburger thing. So on the way over, he picks me up. He's got this cube car, which is like my arch nemesis of vehicles. And so, he picks me up at the airport. And as we're driving, I learned something about Matt that I never knew. And I don't know if any of you guys here even know. But Matt is literally Oprah's #1 fan. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. We're talking the #1 fan in life. And so we're driving, and he's going on and on about Oprah and how much he loves her and her show and the OWN network. And he's got this new T-shirt, and it's like a Snuggie, but it has her it's weird, but so anyway, I'm kidding about that. But he's talking about how he went to one of Oprah's events, and he talked about her stage presence and things. And I'm like brand new to speaking and stuff, and I'm just kind of learning as I go. I just kind of wing it a little bit. And he talked about she always goes to when she was in Vancouver, she spent I don't know, like a quarter of her time, the entire presentation, talking about Vancouver to build rapport, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to use that strategy because Matt loves Oprah so much. I'm going to share a Vancouver story because this is my second time here. And the first time I was about a month and a half ago. And I went to Whistler. Anyone from Whistler live up in Whistler? Whistler's amazing. All right. It was awesome. Snowing. It was a blast. And then I came back here to downtown. A friend brought me to, I think it was called Yaletown. And we went to a place called the Dark Table. Anyone ever been to the Dark Table? All right, so the Dark Table, and it was a girl, we were, I guess, kind of dating, and she brings me there. I have no idea what to expect. And we walk up, and there's a server out front, and they take your order out front before you go in. And she had told me a little bit about it, but I didn't really get the concept. So basically, the entire staff, the wait staff, is 100% completely blind. And so the entire place is pitch black. So you choose what you're going to have, and then you can only choose your entree because the first meal's a surprise, or your app is a surprise. Your dessert's a surprise. You really only know what you're eating with the middle meal. So I choose steak. We get in there, and we're walking in, like this as a little train, and sit down. And it was just so insane that it was completely pitch black, nothing, can't say anything. They're coming over with, we could bring wine, so they bring us a glass of wine, they bring us bread. And imagine sitting there trying to butter bread without being able to see. So I'm literally sitting there, unwrap it, trying to find my knife. Finally, I'm like, you know what? She can't see me anyway. I'm just jamming it in the butter. I've got crumbs all over myself. She can't see. I'm like, literally, I swear to God, at one point, I'm trying to spoon. I have no idea what it was. It was mushy, and it had to be some vegetables. I think there was kale in there. And I'm trying to eat it, and finally I was like, hell, she can't see me anyway. I'm literally, my left hand is scooping it onto my fork, right hand I'm eating it. So anyway, moral of the story, check out Dark Table if you haven't already. It's freaking amazing. So with that, I'll carry on to the actual meat of the presentation. So my story that may be relevant to you guys is an interesting one, just how I got in the business. So 2008, I was 26. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I had a business called the New Perks card. It was like the shape of a business card, and it was kind of like a little mini Groupon type scenario. So I had all these businesses in town, put discounts on the card. You could walk in with this New Perks card and be super cool and get 25% off a bottle of wine, right? So it's just this discount program. Half the money went to charity. For the first time, my family's like, I think you might have something here. This is a really cool idea. They're actually supporting. And so I'm all fired up. I'm going big on this one. So everyone's like, if you want to go big and you want to make this one work where all the other ones that didn't work, you've got to hire an advertising company. You've got to do it right. You've got to build this thing up. So I was like, really? Never thought about that. But I've got some extra cash. I take $50,000, invest it into just advertising for the business, never mind the other startup costs. I hired 4 people. This is not them, because, but it's to illustrate them. And basically, they're 4 guys technically, and they're like, we have 100 years of experience, 25, 25, 25, and 25. And I was like, all right, that's cool. So what can you do for me? Like, well, we're going to help you build this business and grow your revenues, and it's going to be all the things you want it to be. And I was like, all right, well, I've got a marketing plan. I'll just give you what I have, and let's talk about what you guys can do. So I'm thinking, internet marketing. I'm thinking social media marketing. I'm thinking just, kind of cutting edge stuff. And they come back, and they're like, no, we're going with this thing. We're going TV all the way, 50 grand. And I was just like, really? That's it? That's the big plan? All right. So at one point, they say, we have your best interests in mind. And I thought about that, and I was thinking that the more I advertise, the more percentage they make. So if you really think about it, they should have your best interest in mind. So if I'm successful, they're successful. But what I've realized since then is anytime someone says, we've got your best interest in mind, pretty much buckle your seatbelt because you're probably going to get screwed somewhere in the process. So I end up looking at it and saying, I'm 26, maybe I'm just being stubborn, or maybe I need to get out of my own way. So it's like a lack of confidence thing. So I end up saying, you know what? All right, I'll trust you guys. Let's do it. Plow all the money into the advertising. What ends up happening? It was an epic freaking fail. Lost every single penny I had. I had all these startup costs, and me being the optimistic, ambitious person that I am, thinking that I can always, knock it out of the park, and then, I print 10,000 cards. I have T-shirts still. If anyone wants one, let me know. I've got these little, boxes and boxes of cards, and my girlfriend at the time's like, you think you can sell 10,000? The population of West Hartford's only 65,000 people. That's 1 out of 6 people walking around with your card, including children. And I was just like, maybe I can do it. I can do it. I got this one. This is a winner, So I'm all fired up. So anyway, the advertising derails my business. So why am I sharing all of this? Is because I think that traditional marketing, I think everyone's here, obviously. You all know that Facebook marketing is where we should be at, and that's why you guys are here. I don't need to explain it. But print and TV and radio, all that stuff is just, it's just not working. So the reason I'm explaining that is because after experiencing that personally and thinking about all the business people that are losing all this money advertising with people like them, like these people, these 4 advertising executives that are now probably bums because it didn't work, it was that bad. So it's like, I looked at it as I needed to, figure out how to market better, because I figured as an entrepreneur, I've got to create a skill set, because otherwise I'll just keep failing at businesses. So I was like, I better learn how to market. That seemed appropriate. And I want to be able to help people, actually succeed and create a return on investment, because it blows my mind that someone could put in money and consistently lose on advertising every single month. So that's really what my goal is, and that's what my mission is. That's why I started this business. That's why I'm here, and that's what I'll be sharing with you guys. So basically, my mission from day one has been, how the heck do you take Facebook marketing, which, as you guys probably know, there's a lot of moving parts. That's why this thing's 2 days. But how do you actually make money with it? How do you create customers and clients and do it in a way that's not going to make it crazy? Spending half a day, an hour or 2 hours a day on Facebook, it's tough. It's hard to manage. We're all trying to run businesses. So I'm trying to, the strategies I'm going to share with you guys is how to do it simply and how to actually get customers and make money with it. So fast forward since then, I've helped over 1,200 business owners create a return on investment. I've got tons and tons of case studies. Company like Safeco Insurance, they're like a huge $8 billion company. They've hired us and our staff. Now we do it across the country for their people. So we know how to do it, and I'm going to share with you exactly what we do, and it's all meant to help you guys. So I'm going to try and give you the best I got to help you get some ROI. So we're going to talk about how to attract clients, how to leverage viral reviews, Facebook contests, and how to manage your Facebook in less than 5 minutes a day. So I have tons of respect for Matt. I've got tons of respect for the speakers that are here this weekend. All their strategies, I know Matt very well. I know the strategies. They're all absolutely amazing. This is just kind of one particular route. This is a track that I use. So that's what I'm going to share with you guys. So the backbone of everything that I do is using earned media. So all earned media is it's a fancy, that's what all the cool advertising and bloggers, this is what they call it. But all earned media is word of mouth marketing. And at the end of the day, 9 out of 10 people, according to a big fancy study, trust word of mouth marketing. So at the end of the day, if you look at that and say, all Facebook really is, it's just a different way to communicate. If you really break it down, it's nothing more complicated than it's just a different way to communicate. We can communicate face-to-face at parties. This is just another channel to get your message across. So if we looked at it and say word of mouth is, yes, the most powerful form of marketing, then that's all we really need to create on Facebook. And so everything I'm going to teach with you guys is about how to get people to talk about you instead of you trying to talk about you on Facebook. And I use this strategy with my own business. I use it every single day, every single month. And what's great about it is that I don't have to sell. Instead, when other people talk about you, you attract customers. You attract people to you. And so what this is going to give you guys is an opportunity to get referrals and to work with people that trust you, because nothing sucks more than advertising in something like TV or even on Google and getting customers that have no trust. I mean, you end up working with people that are price sensitive. You've got to convince them, and then you're selling. And I don't know about you, but I would rather not sell. I'd rather have them come to me and want to give me money. So that's the whole plan. So a couple things. I call it being cool. It's earned media accelerators. These are things that you can do that are tangible things that you can increase the word of mouth about your business. So C for celebrity-like branding. O for optimizing your page. I'm sure you guys have covered a lot of that so far today. O for over-delivering every time. And then L for leveraging fan reviews and autopilot. So the first one is what I've found with my business, with clients, is that graphic design is so important. Graphic design and having a timeline cover that just looks good, it's aesthetically pleasing, really changes your perception. And I actually just hired a business coach, and she said in 2013, graphic design is going to matter more than copy. Think about that. And this woman's like big time. I'm paying her crazy money, and so I believe her anyway. But it's like, if you think about that, graphic design being more important than copy, and I personally believe that because when I run ads or I do things, I find that if I just make my design look good, people perceive that I know what the heck I'm talking about. Quick story on that. When I first got started in the business, I ran an ad. And I ran the ad where the first time I did it, I was doing a contest giving away an iPad, and I bought some course about these contests and how to do them, and I really respected the guy that sold me the course. And it said to run an ad with a gorgeous woman holding an iPad, and everyone would want to opt into your contest. So my Facebook page is Nick Unsworth. So here I go, second month in the business, running an ad with my name on it and a picture of a woman holding an iPad. So it should have made sense that wasn't a good idea, but I did it anyway, followed the directions. And what I realized is that I should probably put my own face there because it wasn't working at all. And then when I did, I just changed it to my ad copy to, what do you think about my new page? So I shifted from trying to sell them and using marketing tactics to just unlearn everything you've ever learned about sales and marketing and just be you. Be authentic, be personable, just be you, and that matters so much more than any tactic or marketing skill. And so I was like, screw it, I'll just be me. It was kind of like a rough picture, and my mug on there, and then I said, what do you think of my new page? The one thing that I did right is my actual landing page just looked phenomenal. I mean, I only spent like $150 on it, the guy that designed it, but it looked good. And I got a call. I got a bunch of people that opted in. I got tons of likes. So I was getting clicks for less than 10 cents. And I get a call from this guy, Quincy, in Hawaii. And I'm working out of my second bedroom and stuff. And he calls, and this is my second month in the business. And he calls up and says, I'd like to speak to Nick Unsworth. And I'm like, yeah, this is him. And he's like, I'd like to invite you to be the keynote speaker in Hawaii at our technology conference called Technology News Bites. And I was like, absolutely, that sounds fantastic. How much are you going to pay me? And he said, well, we don't have a big budget. We can only do $1,000, pay all your expenses, but we're going to have a lot of press and a lot of publicity. And I was like, all right, well, I think I can pull that. All right. And, I was trying to basically, internally, I'm like freaking out. This is my second month in the business. Like, holy shit, this is like a dream come true, And now, granted, at the time, I used to literally, I hate to swear, but I used to just about shit my pants in front of a room. So I was like completely freaked out, nervous, but I was like, I'll figure it out. So he asked me for my media kit, and I said, I'll send it over. Turns out I have no idea what a media kit is. So I get off the phone and then I just start Googling what's a media kit. I figure it out. I put one together, shoot it over to him. And next thing you know, I'm speaking at this event and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like trying to like instead of thinking about what I'm talking about, I'm thinking about like what is going on? And like, how am I even here? How does this make sense? And the point of all of that is that, no joke, the graphic design and the branding, that literally is what got me to that stage. And I asked him, why did you choose me? He's like, well, I saw when you market on Facebook, I saw you do something I'd never seen anyone do. Your ads were so different. Shoot, I had a coffee with a guy. I think he's in here somewhere. There he is. You right there. And he says today, he goes, yeah, man, I've seen your stuff around. He goes, actually, I think you ran an ad on Facebook that said Happy Holidays. That was interesting. And I was like, yeah, and it converts like a mofo. I got like, fans for like 12 cents a piece, and it's great because all I was doing is just being like, I think I'm a nice guy, and I was just kind of being me and running the ads. But the point is that when your stuff looks good and you're not trying to market and sell and you're attracting people, it really helps. So your branding and your graphic design is super, super important. Now, thinking about the actual timeline cover, you can see here that I've kind of got my cheesy pose there and a couple pictures with people. I did that because I was trying to brand myself, and these were noticeable experts in the industry, so it's kind of like mooching branding. But the one thing I think that I always have done right is make your message very clear. So if you're going to write down anything that I say, this is probably the one line that I learned with Matt at this Eben Pagan event. It literally changed my marketing business forever, and it's the line, what's in it for me? So you guys right here, hearing my stories, are in the back of your mind secretly thinking, what's in it for me? What is this guy even going to teach me, right? Everyone at every point in their life is thinking, what's in it for me? Why show up here at this event? Why listen to this guy? Why should I pay attention to his stuff? And so what you want to have happen is that tagline on your cover, no matter what your business is, needs to answer that question. And it's super important that it's clear. Think about if you're driving on the road. You're driving like Matt. You're doing like 35 on a highway. You should be doing 75. Kidding. It's the cube. The cube can't go faster.
I was so fast. You couldn't.
All right. If you're like Matt and you're doing 135, you should be doing 75, and you see your timeline cover as a billboard, could someone just look at it and get what you do? So many times people get cute with their taglines and they try and think of all these cool ways to demonstrate what they do, and no one gets it. So whether you're networking, whether someone's looking at your page, it's got to be simple, it's got to be clear. The more confusion, the less money you'll make, almost in general. So what I like to refer to it as the money equation. So it's very simple. It's who you are, who do you help, and then how do you help them? And I've used a lot of different variations of this. I like to sometimes niche down and focus on just like authors or focus on like, certain companies. But to keep it general for this example, my name is Nick Unsworth. I'm a Facebook marketing expert that helps local business owners get more clients using simple Facebook marketing strategies. So for anyone that could hear that at a networking meeting or wherever, or reading it on my page in the About section, they would understand what I do and how I help them and see the value in that. So just follow that and put that in your About section. Keep it very, very simple. The next thing is creating like a celebrity-like brand. I call it getting anchor clients. So if you think about like a strip mall, like wherever there's a Walmart, they're an anchor tenant, and then you've got like the hair salon or you've got other businesses. So it's the big brand that everyone wants to be next to the Walmart. Everyone wants to be next to the Best Buy. Those are anchors. So it's no different in business where you want to identify who are the anchor clients for your business, how do you get them, and then do whatever you got to do to get them. And the reason's because if you get that one client that has a lot of influence and they write a review about you, or they could just put a status update on Facebook that says, I worked with Matt Astafan, and man, I grew my business by 11% this year. Well, if Matt has someone that owns a dog grooming business say that, versus Matt has someone that owns a Fortune 500 company, which has more impact? Obviously, the bigger company. So think of it this way, that you want to get the most influential anchor clients in your business, and then you want to do a great job for them so that you get their positive word of mouth about your business. So an example of this is I started targeting authors, and I was like, I just basically was like, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to try and brand myself and brand by association like that, I figured I want to have like New York Times best-selling authors that are my clients. So like this guy, John Assaraf, he's like this big business coach, super successful guy. He's built all these multi-million-dollar businesses. And I was like, well, wouldn't it be crazy if I consult him? Then wouldn't people say, I don't know this Nick guy, but I know John, and if he's good enough for John, he's good enough for me. And that right there, that's how people think, by association. So I looked at it, and I went out, and I just reached out to these guys. I reached out to John Assaraf and said, hey, I think I can help you on your Facebook marketing. I'm willing to do 2 hours free with your team, and if I don't add value, then at least you got some free 2 hours, and if I do add value, we'll do something together. And so anyway, we ended up doing this contest with him, created this great results, and then he shared, not only to his network, but to other people, a review about me. And then I ran ads to the thing, and I'm like marketing this thing, trying to not be cheesy about it, but I let everyone know what he said about me. So I'm not trying to convince people that I know what I'm talking about. Instead, I'm just pointing people to what other people are saying, and it creates customers very fast. So it's kind of like, I'm sure you see things like, featured on Fox News, featured on Wall Street Journal, as seen on, or our clients include, and then all the big names, and then we don't think about it, but we just trust it. So we want to do that for your business. So identify who they are, get them as clients, get them to say something nice about you, document that, share it, and then it'll help you get more clients. Optimizing the page, I'm not going to go through this one too much just because Matt has, he's already devoted a bunch of time to that and more up tomorrow, so we'll just jump over that. One little thing I know he's covered or will be covering is this little invite your friends button. It's so overlooked, but it's so easy. Just click it, and then click the invite your personal friends, get them to your Facebook page. Very simple, very easy. This one right here, I won't spend a ton of time on this, and I know he's talked about that syndicate Facebook group where you guys can share each other's stuff. I have a little bit of a variation on that I'm happy to, I have this document where it explains how it works, what do you do. So it's kind of like putting quite a bit of organization behind, I share your content, you share mine, and then we both grow together. So when I build up my Facebook page, I recognize that in this industry, I want to have thousands and thousands of fans so that other companies think I know what I'm talking about, and then I get consulting contracts. So what I did was I reached out to other people in the industry, and I featured them on my Facebook page. And I would feature them and just say, hey, listen, I want to feature you on my Facebook page, and I'm going to promote your updates or your content or your blog posts once a week for a full month. And then usually people will look at it and they're like, dude, that's awesome. Thank you. That's great. That's fantastic. What do you want for it? Nothing. I just want you to do the same for me if it's working and I'm getting you fans. So at the end of the day, if you were to literally just pair up with 4 other people, and then Monday through Friday, you're each sharing something of each other's stuff to your networks, it can add a lot of value. I grew well over 10,000 fans just by doing this. And again, we're talking about earned media. We're talking about word of mouth. If I have 4 very influential people that are saying, you've got to check out Nick's blog post, you've got to check out Nick's new video, you've got to check this out, you've got to check that out, then they come to the page and like it because of their recommendation. So again, this is part of that word of mouth. So for you guys, like an example would be, let's say someone in real estate. Someone in real estate could do this strategy perfectly if you think about they could have their mortgage broker, could be their real estate attorney, the home inspector, and let's say insurance agent, right? And the realtor. And then you've got that little power team. So if they each have Facebook pages, they could promote each other's stuff, and they could all grow together and grow their influence together. So Matt's got the group for that. If anyone wants the sheet that I have, I've got like this document that you can use to like hand it to somebody, and that's to basically to explain it. So instead of you trying to explain what I just explained, you can just give them the sheet and say, let's do this. If you want that, you can just email support@smashitsocial.com, and I'll just have them email that to you, the PDF. And I'll actually just give you the slides, too, if anyone wants any of the slides. Smash It Social, like crush it, smashitsocial.com. Support@smashitsocial.com. Number 3 here. So now we're talking about, this is the, oh yeah, go ahead. just reach out. Yeah, you can just say, I want the social alliance sheet, or just reach out and say, I was at Matt's conference. I'll email the support and make sure that they're aware. Sometimes I don't email the support and I let them get all confused.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
hey, Nick, remember that everyone's getting triple your fans, and isn't that included in triple your fans?
I totally forgot we were even doing that, but sure.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about, right?
I honestly completely forgot, but we'll throw that in too.
No.
Or are you just messing with me?
No. I freaking emailed you guys, and the Nick Squared guys.
Did you? Okay, all right. We'll throw that in there too.
Anyway,
so all right, so we've got this course called Triple Your Fans. It's freaking awesome. It's how I grew to like. I think
he's all like, "We're giving this away for free."
Yeah, I sell it. I legitimately sell it. But yeah, we'll give that to you guys too. Okay. All right. So definitely email support and just be like, give me all the Nick's stuff, and it'll be fun. But yeah, so Triple Your Fans, it's a course we legitimately sell, and it goes through like very specific tactics about how to actually acquire new fans. It talks about understanding your customer, how to do research. There's advertising stuff, and it's step by step. We get great feedback on it, and it's all video, so you can go through it. We've got like templates and things like that, and so this doc does come with that, and so we'll just give you all that and stuff. But support at smashingsocial.com. Number 3 is, this is the other O in being cool, and it's over-deliver every time. So what I love about this slide or this area of this presentation is that if you think about word of mouth marketing happens when? It happens when someone has a great experience. It doesn't happen when someone has like the worst steak they've ever had at the dark table and they couldn't see anything and then they're just pissed, right? That'd be bad word of mouth. But like good word of mouth happens when they have a great experience. So if your business is like 99.9 repeating businesses out there that just does normal service, which is kind of like shitty service, then what I'd like to do is I'd like to convince you or try to convince you with this that if anything that I share today makes any impact, it would be this. Because at the end of the day, if you can strategically create wow experiences for your customers, they're going to love you for it, and they're going to talk to their friends. And I would like to say that it's so much easier building a business by referral that way, where it just builds itself, than trying to advertise and work your ass off doing all this stuff. So when I think about over-delivering, and I think about, well, how do you consistently get 5-star reviews, or how do you consistently get all these people to talk about you like that? And it's as simple as just over-delivering. Just whatever you do, under-promise, over-deliver. And I think people get busy. They have a habit of doing that in the reverse, and it's just detrimental to your business. So anytime someone buys any of our things, we'll throw in an additional bonus out of nowhere. When I give a speech like this, and I get put on the spot, we'll give out a whole free course. You know what I'm saying? So trying to over-deliver. But when you're actually thinking about how you're going to do that, here's a couple examples. The way that you do this, or the strategy or the tactic, it's an unexpected bonus or an unexpected card or anything unexpected, and that is the sweet spot for this. So like I was like fresh out of college, and there was this company send out cards, and it's network marketing. The one thing I took away from that, even though that business failed too, is that they sent unexpected cards because they wowed people. And when I translate that into today's day and age, that same concept of the unexpected the unexpected bonus or the unexpected gift, that's what builds rapport with people. When I was in real estate, we used to try and do that and send them just, pumpkin, imagine just getting a pumpkin, around Halloween, and it's like, from your realtor, Nick, and it's like got my face on it or something, right? Like just something unique that they're like, man, that guy's crazy. Zappos, as an example, they, when they built their business, they did not have an advertising budget. This is so smart. And instead, they just decided, we're going to absolutely wow our customers. So what happened was they built up their business, and they sell shoes online. Now, selling shoes online, or back 10 years ago, buying things online was kind of a scary process. My mom still freaks out about putting a credit card over the intranet. So it's like when they did this, it was a different time then, and people were kind of freaked out about trying on shoes and this and that. So they said, we're going to do a 365-day refund policy, And then anyone that buys shoes, or like any of us, you buy anything online, we want everything now. But their process, they told people they was going to get to them within 7 business days. And what ended up happening is that every time someone bought, they sent them a separate email and said, you've just been upgraded to VIP. Woo, VIP, right? You know, ooh, I'm VIP. And they did overnight shipping to every single person. So you're expecting 7 days, and next thing you know, you're in this VIP, and then you get this box the next day, open it up, and they've got like a nice card in there and things, and it just blew everyone's minds. And then everyone just shared that experience to their friends and their friends and their friends, and they became the #1 retailer in the world online for shoes. They sold to Amazon for over $1 billion. And so what I want you to do is to just find in your sales process, no matter what you sell, what's one thing you can do to wow somebody? You know, is it an unexpected card, not around Christmas, not around, whatever other holiday, but just send them a card just saying, I just wanted you to know how much I appreciate having you as a customer and a friend. You know, and then that will, make someone feel good, and that's just one of the little tiny things you can do. The other example here is Southwest. I travel like crazy these days. I'm like a loyal Delta guy because I like the miles. Never use them, but I just like accumulating them. And so I was on Southwest for whatever reason, and out of nowhere, they send this email. I assume it's spam, and it's a $150 credit for Southwest. And that's weird. They're just giving me $150 to use at another time. So I thought that was pretty freaking cool. And what I thought was spam was actually a great little gift certificate. And now look at me now. Here I'm talking about Southwest. So find a spot in your sales cycle and then just do something amazing for people. And it's going to lead to that earned media, to people talking about you guys and get you more and more referrals. The next thing here is the L in cool, which is leveraging fan reviews on autopilot. So I personally have a software I've created. Everything I'm going to demonstrate, there are other options out there. You can not use any of this. You could just ask people to write you status updates and share something nice about you. So, but this is just an example using my tool that I use. And basically, the process is really simple. So I talk about how to manage Facebook marketing in 5 minutes a day, and what would happen if the only thing you did was this one tiny strategy. All it is this. Step 1, you add the app to your page. Step 2 is that you just ask for a review. I actually have. So here's an example. So when you ask for a review, there's a few different ways you can do it. You could verbally do it. So I could say to you guys, hey, did you enjoy the presentation? Hopefully, yeah. And then you would just go to nicksfanreviews.com and write a review and tell me what you think, right? Or tell me why you loved it. Because if I say, tell me why you loved it, then you're typically leave a good review as opposed to, kind of went on and on here and there, or too many tangents. So you can ask verbally or face-to-face. You can email and ask. We've got a lot of companies that when someone buys something, like Zappos, for example, notice when Zappos, when someone buys, there's an email that automatically goes out and asks people for reviews. You can do it as a status update. You can just reach out via Facebook. Referral cards. So this is just an example. I keep these on me. All it says is nicksfanreviews.com, and then it has steps. Share your positive testimonial and enter to win amazing prizes. So I often give away prizes and things too, just for people that write reviews as a method of entry. And what's interesting is that I've built a bunch of different types of contest softwares. I've used contest softwares like crazy. Travis, I'm super excited to use his. It looks amazing, and I'm definitely going to harass you for it and use it. But the point of what I'm getting at here is that my contests are a little different because the entry method is writing a review. Because I want to email people I already know and ask them for reviews so that they reach out to their friends and bring people back to me. So the entry method being a review is very different, and it leads to that earned media like I was talking about. And so what happens is basically those are the 2 steps. I look at businesses and say if the only thing you were to do is get a customer and then ask for a review, and that was it. And what if everything else that happened in the background, the viral sharing of the reviews, created content for you, if that was all taken care of? And so that's what this process does, the app does. We've got plenty of small business owners, people like realtors, insurance agents, attorneys. They have no time for anything. They don't create content They're not on Facebook more than 5 minutes a day. The only thing that they do is they just ask for reviews. They sell something. Hey, would you mind writing me a review? So basically, if that was all that you had to do, would you be excited about it? And to know if you're excited about it, I want you to give your neighbor a high five. Notice this right here. You want to look at the elbow, because if you don't, sometimes you can miss. But all right, so just take a pause, give a high five. That means now.
High five.
All right. That means, leave me. All right. Whew. It's like went over.
You're gonna lose your voice tomorrow, eh?
No, I know.
All right, there we go. So this I find very interesting because if you've ever missed at a high five, is nothing worse than that. So look at the elbow and you'll be good. So here's some of the things that happen behind the scenes. So basically, behind the scenes with the app, when you get the review, it shares out to friends. This is that earned media that I'm talking about. This is where if you get those anchor clients and then they write a review and it shares to their network, that's good for you. So basically, this is a screen capture here of a guy, Brian Williams, wrote a review about me, and then it shares to all of his friends. Now, in business, how many of you ask for referrals after you get a client? Right? It's like good business to do that. But if you ask for referrals, and even if you're like a pro, and you like really don't care about the uncomfortableness, and you're like, hey, listen, can I get 3 names of people that I can talk to go sell my stuff? Then people are often like, I don't know about giving you 3 names just yet, you know. And even if they give you the 3 names, those are like leads. So in this model, instead of what happens is we do business together, and then I ask for the review. It shares, you may have, how many friends do you have on Facebook? 800, okay. So would I rather have 3 cold referral leads or have him saying, man, I watched this presentation from Nick, it was really cool. It goes to 800 people on Facebook. And it's the story about you that compels people to want to work with you. So when an insurance agent asks their customer to write a review and they just save them $225 on insurance, and the customer writes, I just worked with, Bob Smith, and he saved me $225 on insurance. Highly recommend him. He's way better than Geico or Progressive. And then that shares to Bob Smith's friends. What happens is people call that insurance guy. They don't know him, but they know Bob Smith. So it's that relationship. So that's what makes this thing so special. That's what makes business come to you. That's why I don't have to worry about selling. I don't have to worry about cold calling. I let them come to me, and then the reviews are great. The other thing is that it creates content for you. I'm known, I think, in the industry as like the anti-content guy. If you look at my Facebook page, it's like I don't spend a ton of time doing this stuff. So I love doing webinars. That's like my main jam is webinars. But creating like ongoing blog posts, my blog I think has 12 blog posts for like 2 years and change. I just stink at that stuff. I just don't have time because I'd rather be making money doing things. So the nice thing is that the tool will take that review. So like in the example I shared, Bob Smith, it shares to his friends. But wouldn't it be great for your fans to see this kind of stuff on a regular basis too? So it'll take that same review and share it to your fans as content. And what I find is that I could make up a whole bunch of random stuff to create as content on my Facebook page to try and amuse fans, or I could just consistently share what other people are saying about me. And if I have cooler people that have more influence saying great things about me, then my fans over time look at it and say, man, every time on Facebook, this guy's getting another review, and it's from this great person or from this, and it positions you as the expert, and that comes back to why branding's important. And when you're the expert in someone's mind, they'll pay top dollar. Life is easier. You're attracting people to you. So this content, when you break down what's good content is earned media. It's someone else talking about your brand and then sharing it. So that's another little piece. I always get asked the question, well, what if I get a bad review? Well, the only time you get bad reviews is it all depends on how you ask for reviews. When I've got a company that they manage real estate apartment buildings. And they use this strategy, and it works like crazy. And we just have them say, tell us why you love, ... insert your business, whatever you do. Tell us why you love living at River Edge Terrace. And then people go there and like, okay, well, I love it because I love the pool and the spa and this and that, or I love it because of the location. Well, what ends up happening is that no one's going to go there and write, well, I freaking hate the place. because you're asking, tell us why you love it. If you hate it, pretty much shouldn't be writing it there. It's kind of like all how you ask. But what happens is that those stories share to their friends, and we've been able to track leases, people moving where they live to go live near their friend because they became aware of that building because of their friend saying that on Facebook. The company has now rolled this strategy out to all 40 out of 40 big apartment buildings in their portfolio in San Diego just from this, because that earned media works. Other thing here is this is an example of all your reviews. You can take them, and they all end up in this little widget. And the widget you put on your website, you can put it wherever you want, basically. You can put it anywhere you want online, because when you're trying to sell something, it's also, or if you're attracting people to your business, it's nice where people can just look at your reviews and check you out. So like for our insurance clients, insurance agents, we just say, if anyone's price shopping you, just tell them to go, look at your reviews, look at what your customers are saying, look at why you're better. So this is why Best Buy, Amazon, everyone has reviews, is because they help people make buying decisions. So make your life easier, get a bunch of good reviews, and let it work. Live example here. And just jump over to this. And this assumes the internet works, which I can't promise anything. Let me see here. So this basically is an example of, we've got my Facebook page here. This is the actual fan reviews app. I click on that, comes over here, boom, choose your star rating, enter the review. So as an example here, if I'd look at Linda English, this came in 4 days ago. I click on her name, bingo. This is her personal Facebook profile. She's got a bunch of friends. Doesn't tell me how many friends, but and then you can see here it shares to her Facebook on her timeline for her friends to see. And it's, I just gave Nick Unsworth a 5-star review. What do you think? And it populates what she said. And she had someone that clicked the like button. I then saw it, and I knew I was going to be doing this demo, so I came over here and typed in, thank you so much, and what have you. So now what's happening is that even though this right here, this lives on like her timeline, but what you don't see is that this little box is like the salesperson that's living on the news feeds of all of her friends. Now, not all of them will see it. I always get the social media person will say, well, what about the edge rank? And what if out of the 800 friends, what if only 100 see it? Huh? Tough guy. And then I look at it and I say, man, you are good. You're an expert. But here's the thing: Facebook's designed to share content with people that you have influence with, right? So if you have 800 friends, it's almost impossible to be close friends with 800 people. So in his example, if he writes that review will get shared to the right people, to the people that either know him, like him, trust him, or love him. And at that point, that's the only thing that matters, because a stranger that's a friend on Facebook seeing his review about me, they're not going to care. But if it's a business owner that respects his opinion and says, shoot, I've been looking for advice on how to get customers using Facebook too, or I've been looking to figure this stuff out, then they'll look at his review, trust me, and boom, that's how it works. So that's how it actually shares. And let's now talk about contests. So this is kind of just shifting gears a little bit. So we talked about how to use the app on an ongoing basis. So that's like any time you sell something, you ask for a review, and boom, it's simple. You could literally stop there with the strategy and make your life very easy. Now, if you wanted to take it to the next level, this is something that is more advanced. I think this is more about kind of the things like Matt's going to be talking about tomorrow, more promotions, more how do you really step up your game on Facebook and get more clients. So in this scenario, this is going to share with you guys exactly how to do a contest using this strategy. Here's a couple, before we dive into exactly what it looks like, these are just a couple different examples. Mia Davies, she's a solopreneur, business coach. She used this strategy, and I'll show you her example online. And she sells things on webinars. So this process, she got over 200 reviews. Her reach just exploded. It was like a hockey stick graph on Facebook, because 200 reviews sharing to all their friends create all this exposure. And so basically, there's a lot of exposure that can happen from the reviews. In her case, she made 16 sales when she did her webinar, and she sold one high-ticket, client. So for her, it was a huge score. It was better than she's ever done in one single promotion. It only took 2 weeks. Chris McIntosh, he's a local business guy, right? We have tons of examples in insurance. Since we're working with Safeco, we have hundreds of insurance agents. We've got data to back all this stuff up for days. But Chris was unique because Chris was brand new. He got licensed. He had never been an insurance agent, 24-year-old kid, basically. And they looked at it and said, man, you've been able to get all these results in insurance. Do you think you can do it for this guy? He's brand new. He doesn't have customers. Who's going to write him a review? And I said, does he have people that know, like, and trust him? That's it. Because reviews, we often think of reviews as something that you do after you consume something. Like, oh, I had a steak, and then I can write a review, or I bought something, then I can write a review. But we're kind of changing the paradigm with reviews. Someone can write a review if they vouch for Chris, or if they recommend Chris, right? So what happened to us, we used this strategy. He had people that were writing him reviews that had never done, no one had done business with him, but they were like, I worked with Chris in the past, he's a guy that I would recommend and trust, and so he sold his first 8 policies in 2 weeks. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but like when we're all talking about, getting likes and doing this or doing that, like making real money, like this example to me was like, one of the, insurance is a hard thing to market. He's brand new, so I figure like if you, this example kind of describes that if he can do it, just about anyone can do it. And we have very few people that aren't able to be successful with it. The only ones are ones that don't follow our strategies, that don't, that aren't coachable. So, and that's it. No, kidding. So how it actually works is, if you come over here to, we'll use the Mia Davies scenario here. So this is her Facebook page. And very provocative, geez. And if we click on iPad contest giveaway, it takes you, boom, over here. And so what this is if you're gonna do a contest, definitely want to hear what Travis has to say tomorrow. This is how we do it. We're able to generate clients in a very easy way. So we create this landing page, and again, the design is super important on these. We've got a whole team of designers that we work with, that we partnered with. For $200, it's a cost. We don't make anything on it, but for $200, they will make this design, the whole thing, and this is like a website. They do the graphic design, they put in the code in there, and they put it on your page, and do it all for you. So it is something where we do so much volume with them that we're happy to give it away because it helps people be successful with our strategy. So if you email that support@smashit and you want their resource, we're happy to provide it too. So basically, what's happening here in this giveaway is that she's giving away a prize. She's made a video, and in the video, she's explaining exactly how the whole thing works. So if she has a database of 500 people in her network, or for your business, you may have X amount of customers, typically small business owners. We're all kind of known to like not keep good databases. We probably don't have everyone's email, but we should, and we need to build that email list. And this is something that will help you do that as well. But you want to reach out and to get in touch with your network. And people always say things like fortunes in the follow-up. You want to stay in front of people. Well, this is another touch point where you reach out via email to your network and you say, I just got on Facebook, or I'm doing this great promotion on Facebook. I'm giving away an iPad. You got to check it out. And when they get there, or you can just say, I just made this cool video. Now, for most people aren't making videos, right? I mean, for me, it's normal. For Matt, it's normal. But like for a insurance agent or this business coach, I mean, seeing someone on a video, it's kind of unique. You kind of just want to look at it to see if they screwed up or whatever. So it's the click-through rates and the open rates are very high. So for that local business owner, we have them make a video. We have scripts, the whole 9 yards. And the video just explains what this thing is, what they're giving away, how to enter. So she does that in her video. She talks about her prizes. The next thing is talking about what the prizes are. Now, iPads are great because they're tangible. But what you'll notice here is that there's a reason why she gave away her training as well. Because you want to have alignment with the people entering with your business or what you do. An example on this is I work with this guy named Frank Kern, and he's like a big name. He's like that anchor client, right? And he was like a big name in the internet marketing industry. And I consulted him on his contest. I built this software, and I said, Frank, we got for a prize, let's give people access to you 2 days with Frank Kern in San Diego, just straight consulting. And he looks at that and he goes, nah, let's give away my 1963 Volkswagen bus. And I was like, okay. I should have my better judgment, should have put my foot down and been like, nope, we're doing it my way because I know my way's better. But I didn't have the backbone. And I was just like, that is so freaking cool. Taking pictures with him in the bus. And so we gave away a bus. You know what that attracted? An army of Volkswagen bus lovers. I mean, no joke. It was, he grew his list by tens of thousands of people, but his goal was to make sales. And when he emailed these people to try and make sales, I mean, buying this course on like how to do like ninja SEO strategies, and they're like, dude, I just like VW buses, man. Like, don't spam me or shit, So the point is, you got to make sure you have alignment with your prizes, and that's very important. The other thing here is that if you look at the behaviors, is that for step 1, they're registering for her webinar. Now, what's cool about that is, even if you're a small business, you're brick and mortar, webinars are great because you can train someone something. You can give them valuable information, build rapport, and then make that sale. So a lot of what we do is we do tons of free webinars because we connect with them, we build up trust, and then we'll have a very soft pitch at the end where it's like, if you like this and you want more, here's what you have, and then that's pretty much it. So registering for a webinar as the call to action is phenomenal. Now, the other thing here that we're doing is we are asking for the review. So when they write that review, they also enter in the contest. In this case, they got one raffle ticket for each of these actions, which is cool. And what was really, really awesome about this particular example is that she announced the winner to this at the end of her webinar. So what happened? Everyone actually wanted to be on the webinar. And I don't know if everyone knows this in the room, but I'm going to share the secrets of the business, that out of 100 people that register for a webinar, only 30 show up live. Because webinars are becoming common, right? So if you're trying to double the amount of money you make, and if your business is selling on webinars, which is relevant for coaches and a lot of different businesses, if you double the amount of people that are on the webinar, so for example, if you close at a 10% ratio, and you have 100 people live, and you close at 10%, you make 10 sales. If you use this strategy and you had 200 people live, and you close at the same percentage, you make 20 sales. You literally double your return on investment. So what's interesting is that this strategy of announcing the winner on the webinar, it got more people there live. It was fun. She made the video of picking the winner, and it was this great scenario, and she made all those sales. Now, I'm going to give you an example for you guys, because I know that there's a lot of brick and mortar local businesses here. So this is an example about how to create business tangibly if you're a local business. And so this is Chris, brand new insurance agent. Click on iPad giveaway, takes you over here. Looks somewhat similar. And same thing, video, easy steps, write a review. And here's what's key. Step 2 is rewarding them for referrals. So Chris is basically asking people for referrals. So now we talked about, you raise your hand and say, yeah, I ask people for referrals. It's great business, right? Well, how often do you do it? I mean, you should do it every day, but I don't do it every day either. It can be uncomfortable. But what's happening here is that if you were to do this strategy, then email your database, you're essentially asking every single person you know for referrals. And then in the video here, you're actually coaching them on what's a good referral, right? And for your database to understand what you're looking for, who they are, and how to refer you is super, super important. I'll never forget when my brother decided to get a house in Connecticut, and he went to an appointment with a realtor. I was a realtor. And I heard about it through a friend. I was like, I called my brother, like, dude, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm a realtor, Joe. Did you forget? And he's like, yeah, but I thought you were too busy, man. I was like, what? I'm not too busy to like sell you a house. I mean, that's my job. That's what I do. And you're my brother. And it's my own brother that I needed to educate that I want referrals, right? Because I always seem busy. I don't know why I appear to be so busy all the time, but that's what people think. And so for you to educate your database about who it is that you want to be referred to is very, very helpful. If nothing else, that's really helpful. So that's what he does there. So he's getting referrals right there, right then. And step 3, this is the how do you sell on Facebook wrapped up with a nice little contest package. And step 3, he's actually giving people quotes, insurance quotes, and giving them 5 entries into this thing. And what's so cool about that is if he were to go on Facebook and say things like, get a quote for me or check me out or whatever, people would literally just throw him off of Facebook. I mean, it would be horrible. You can't just go out and sell on that stuff, right? So what he's doing here is he's selling, got 8 policies in 2 weeks just from this model, and did it using the contest wrapper. So this doesn't work if you just try and sell it directly, but with a contest, it's more lovey-dovey. It makes sense on Facebook. People enjoy it. Question?
I'm asking this question from the point of view of litigation,
Yeah.
and especially in the U.S. Are there any incidents of people then trying to get in touch with him and saying, how do I know you pulled the real ticket, or?
Yeah, so we've done, legal's a great question. So we've done extensive legal work about this because we've done, if you think about Safeco being an $8 billion company and then saying, guys, we're going to scale this across the country nationally, we've got to make sure we have our I's dotted and our T's crossed. So we spent tremendous money on the legal. So there's a few little things. Things like it can't be called a raffle ticket. It has to be called an entry. Your contest rules have to be very much dialed in. That's why we've spent thousands and thousands of dollars to dial this in legally, and then we give you our stuff. But we have guidelines, we have recommendations, but we do always say, like, certain things you should always, it's like a disclaimer. You're still on your own to check your own stuff. We've done a ton of the homework. As far as choosing the winners, I just did a contest myself. We teach our members to take this, and you've got the entries. It's nice you can export the data if you're using GoToWebinar. Things like referrals. Referrals come in. We could put some crazy technology behind this for referrals. We actually have an enterprise version that has more stuff like that. But at the end of the day, to get a good referral, we want them to call Chris. So if it said, enter 3 names of people that Chris is going to hound for insurance, it wouldn't really work. So what happens is Chris gets the entries, writes them down, puts them into tickets, pulls them out of a hat. Sounds crazy to spend the time to do that. Sounds crazy for me being a busy guy to do that myself. But when someone sees the video of you actually choosing the winners, it becomes real, it's authentic, and they love it. And then when you do the next one, it's even better. Because all the people on the sidelines that didn't enter say, I didn't think anyone was going to actually win that iPad. And then the person that wins the iPad, we have in our contest rules, they got to send in a picture with it, things like that. So there's contest rules. You can protect yourself against those things. But it's a great point. And we always encourage everyone that there's sweepstakes law, and then there's Facebook promo guidelines. And on Facebook, everything that we teach, we've scrubbed it through the Facebook promo guidelines. But if you Google Facebook promo guidelines, it's only a 1 little pager that you can check out. So that is the contest strategy for the local business. Let me just jump back to. And any questions just on that, on how to actually do that? No.
Just going back a little bit about the fan reviews. Does that work with your personal profiles or your brand page or both?
Great question. So any applications that you were to add to a page, they can only be added to a Facebook business page. So now once it's on a business page, it is a little confusing because my brand is Nick Unsworth, and that's personal and business, but it attaches to a business page. Technically anything, if you're going to do business on Facebook, it should be on a business page. Now, as far as writing the reviews, one of the things that's really cool is that all the reviews are authenticated through Facebook. So what's nice is that they have everyone's profile image and things like that, which creates more authenticity. If you've ever looked at reviews on Google or Yelp, and you kind of wonder, is that the business owner? Are those real? These are all, they look like, they're all Facebook profiles, which is good. Oh, to wrap things up, if anyone enjoyed this presentation, got anything out of it, this may be a shock, but I'd love to get a review from you guys. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Meet me at the bar.